Hi everyone, welcome to another installment of Beyond Talks, a series in which we answer some frequently asked questions. My name is Jing, I lead product marketing here at Beyond Identity, and today our topic is device trust. What is it and how do I get some for my organization? So device trust is one of my favorite topics because when you talk to very sort of security savvy organizations, you'll hear this notion that it's not just the user that logs in, right? It's also their device. And if you're not protecting that endpoint correctly, you leave a huge threat surface for attackers to exploit. So one of our customers actually puts this best. He says, I could spend my time, my team's time all day protecting the user credential, the user account, and one device that's not patched or unencrypted or whatever, and all that goes out the window, right? So I come back to that quote a lot when I think about device trust. So in cybersecurity context, when you hear device trust, typically it is in reference to mobile device management or MDMs. And essentially, I don't want to explain MDMs to, IT security professionals, but essentially the idea is that you have this agent on the device and it manages a whole host of security related configurations and settings and allows you to take some administrative action on the endpoint, right? In the modern day, I want to argue, and you can disagree with me, and I'd love to have a conversation. If you want to drop me a comment, we'll respond to each one. And in the modern day, I want to propose that MDMs and EDRs are not enough. I know, hot take. So the reason that they're not enough for device trust is MDMs and EDRs are, by definition, limited to managed devices. Now, let's think about your fleet. How many devices accessing your resources are managed? If you have hybrid workers, if you have remote work, many of them are likely BYOD devices, or otherwise known as unmanaged devices, right? And let's just say, for argument's sake, you tell me, hey, I actually have 100% managed devices and we're all locked down. And I would say, congratulations, that's excellent. Congratulations on your endpoint hygiene. And then I would ask you, okay, do you have contractors that log in? Do you have engineering contractors? Do you have marketing design contractors? So on and so forth for every team, right? Sometimes the customer will say, well, we do, but there's just a few, right? Doesn't account for much. And then I'll ask, okay, contractors are aside, do you have partners, business partners, and other folks that access your organization's resources? And even if those machines are managed, I would bet my left shoe that they're not managed by you. My point being, a lot of organizations actually have this blind spot of visibility and control on unmanaged devices or devices that they don't manage, right? And what happens is when these devices are able to access your sensitive corporate resources, they actually form kind of a path for attackers to go along for the ride, right? How can you know for a fact that this machine is not running a patched operating system version with a known 0-day? Right? How do you know that disk encryption is on and that your data is actually safe on this device? How do you know if the user has biometric enabled or if it's a mobile context, right? If it's jailbroken or rooted for an Android? And the thing is, we integrate seamlessly with MDMs and EDRs. We consider them a critical part of an IT and security strategy. But when it comes to unmanaged devices, there's a real gap, right? So what we propose, or our approach to that, is we provide you an authenticator, and that authenticator is privacy preserving, it's lightweight, and it's actually able to capture some real-time information from every endpoint that it sits on, regardless of operating system, right? Mac, Windows, Linux, Chrome, whatever it is, we can handle it. And what that allows you to do is it gives you a unified, universal coverage across all your devices, managed and unmanaged, where you can set specific policies. You can even set policies on a per application basis so that you can specify only under these secure conditions can a device access my corporate resources. And to me, when you think about device trust or device security compliance, that is the level that we need to get to, because attackers will attack your weakest link. And it turns out, if you have unmanaged devices in your environment accessing work-related resources, those endpoints pose significant risk. My last note is, maybe you do have mostly managed devices, right? In that case, something to consider is configuration drifts for your MDMs and EDRs, right? So can you check in real time if that MDM is not just active, but properly configured? Can you check in real time? For instance, some EDRs require full disk access, right, in order to be able to perform its duties properly. Can you check in real time that that EDR is not just active, but has all of the correct configurations on the endpoint to be able to function properly? And if you could, what does access management look like for you? What could that look like? What types of risks can you just clear off the table altogether? So those are my parting thoughts. Again, I think we need to sort of rethink device trust, and we need to imagine it beyond MDMs and EDRs, which leave gaps in your organization. Unmanaged devices, I forgot to mention Linux. There are actually very uneven and pretty lacking in support for endpoint management for Linux as well. So if you can close those gaps in a unified, risk-based way, your access controls actually protects both the user and the device that they're on. So let me know what you think. If you want to learn more, feel free to go to our website at www.beyondidentity.com, where you will find all sorts of resources on this topic of device trust. Thank you. Until next time.